some days you wake up, you think about TV shows that you're watching, you think about TV shows you love like Star Trek, and you kind of wonder, how are they going to screw things up now? How are they going to make my worst nightmare come true? And I think you did it. I think you finally screwed the pooch. Not saying she's a dog. I'm just saying you dropped the ball on the franchise completely with this one. I don't think this is what we want out of Discovery. This was kind of my worst nightmare. Hello everyone, I am Mecha Random 42, your favorite YouTube harpy, and oh yes, we are talking about Discovery. More importantly, we're talking about a theory that I have been hoping was incorrect. I have been stewing with this theory for months and months and months. Probably since they announced Ethan Peck as Spock. I'm like, oh no, just watch. They're going to make it so that they're banging. Because everybody has wood for wood in this series. Everybody's got a hard one for Michael Burnham. Even though the character is probably one of the most wooden, miserable excuses for a character I've ever seen. Let's just get right into it. So this article is coming from... I need to clear off my desk a little. This article is coming from Screen Rant. Oh boy, here we go. Let's just get right into it. This came out today, and we talked about this a little on Midnight's Edge After Dark. This has been one of the theories I've had for a while now, that Mikey Spock, Michael Burnham, is going to have to replace or become Spock by having, by helping him through his tough time with his first Ponfar, and she's the one who happens to be there, and because she's got a little bit of Sarek's Katra floating around inside of her, they can do the nasty. They can imprint on each other, however the hell you're gonna describe it this time. I mean, because they're gonna steal something stupid from Twilight. They're going to do it. They're going to use that as their terminology instead of the actual proper terminology that I can't even remember because I get so furious about this. In Star Trek Discovery, did Spock develop romantic feelings for his foster sister, Michael Burnham? Well, at least they're saying foster and not calling her the half-sister or step-sister or any of this other nonsense. She is foster sister or adopted. Either one are acceptable. She's the ward. She's not related to them in any way, so it's really not that taboo, except when you think about it, if he's banging her and his dad's Katra or soul is inside of her head... maybe it's a little weirder than we thought. Maybe it's a little more incestuous. No matter what, it's still taboo. And I would not put it past them. They want to be Game of Thrones in space. They want to be all this. Thank you for being a brand new subscriber. And here we go. I always forget to turn off my notifications. I would not put it past them. I really, really wouldn't. Because what else can they do? What else can they possibly do with this series? Nobody's watching. I'm watching because I have to, and I used to enjoy Star Trek, and I love seeing what they can do to make it Star Trek again. Star Trek Discovery Season 2 launches the mystery surrounding 7 mysterious red lights in space called the Red Angel. But concurrently, this unknown threat is tied to an unrevealed past event between Spock and Michael when they grew up together on Vulcan. However, Spock didn't appear in Brother, and he actually left the Enterprise to pursue the Red Angel, leaving fans to speculate on what happened. Please don't be that a code word for like a certain time of month when they were doing things and they probably, didn't anticipate how messy it would be. We don't need to be going into that because this is where this show would be going. They go to the most stupid, ridiculous, disgusting things. Did we not forget the cannibalism and Klingon rape and torture and gore? So it would not surprise me if they went that route too. They really don't know what the hell they're doing. They really, really don't. The Star Trek Discovery Season 2 premiere Brother didn't reveal the details of what led Spock and Michael to no longer having a relationship, but based on Michael's behavior in the episode, what she said in the voiceover narration, and perhaps more crucially, the things she left unsaid, we can begin to connect the dots. That's what I said. That's exactly what I said. Oh no, they did it. They did it, and it's awkward now. This show. Just bad Alex. I need a newspaper. I can just whack him on the head, like... rub his nose in it. That's what we need. We just need to rub his nose in this. Something definitely caused a rift between them, and it was so serious, perhaps even embarrassing, enough that they kept it from their father, Sarek. Maybe you should keep that from the viewers too. Maybe we don't need to know. It's logical to surmise that Spock developed feelings for Michael and possibly vice versa. Why? How can you have feelings for like a plank of wood? There's nothing to feel. There's nothing to emote. She's not even that attractive. She's not even like curvy. She doesn't have a nice ass. She doesn't have nice tits. She doesn't even have anything interesting about her. I'm talking the character. The actress, lights up a room. She's great. As far as like personality wise, this character is nothing. This character doesn't even have a personality other than smug, arrogant bitch. Which ultimately led for them being estranged for years, related. Oh, I'm not clicking your related articles. No, not today. While it might seem salacious, a possible past romantic encounter between Spock and Michael isn't beyond the bounds of Star Trek Discovery. Oh no, like I said, full-on Klingon rape scene, nudity, F-bombs. Everything that you don't want in Star Trek. Cannibalism, eating sentient species, allowing cavemen level of creatures and beings to be involved in Starfleet when you really shouldn't, and you're violating the Prime Directive just to get them in there. Oh, the show is so bad. After all, Gabriel Lorca and the Mirror Universe's Michael Burnham were in a sexual relationship, which is something Lorca wanted to pursue with the Prime Michael as well. Oh, and don't forget that little look that Michael Burnham gave to or the Empress Giorgio, Mirror Universe Giorgio, the evil Empress. Really, really implied. Like she looked at Michael Burnham and she looked like she was gonna make out with her. Like they really implied that those two were getting it on. Because again, they're not related. She adopted her. Fuck. Why is everyone so hot for her? She's nothing. Tilly's the cute one. Tilly's the one with the personality and the figure. And Tilly's and well, they fucked up Tilly too. But Star Trek Discovery has pushed the boundaries of Star Trek, tackling R-rated fare like dropping the F-bomb. But even classic Star Trek has done eyebrow-raising things with Spock. For instance, after his death and resurrection, Star Trek III Search for Spock saw Saavik have sex with the young Spock as he underwent Pon-farr on the Genesis planet. Something similar could have happened between Michael and Spock in the past, which we know that's going to happen because they even flat out said, Search for Spock. The Search for Spock begins on Star Trek Discovery, premiere the 17th of January. They've been using Search for Spock to market this season. It doesn't take a genius to see where they're going with this. Oh, Lord. Michael was worried about seeing Spock on Discovery Season 2. Michael Burnham is no stranger to emotional distress, but her behavior and brother was markedly different from the turmoil she went through as she coped with the ramifications of being Starfleet's first mutineer who caused the Klingon War. Well, they gave her a commission back. They patted her on the back. This is the participation award generation version of Star Trek. So, yeah, what else can we do? What else can we expect from it? But at this time, Michael was both scared and anxious at the possibility of seeing Spock again, but when he didn't materialize aboard the Discovery, she was hurt, not relieved. For most of Star Trek Discovery's brother, Michael believed that Spock remained aboard the Enterprise to avoid her, and she blamed herself. Yeah, but they kind of just glossed over that. They really, really did. In fact, she even told Captain Pike that she was to blame for not having a relationship with Spock. Well, she is kind of the most unlikable, worst character ever in Star Trek. So I can't fault him for not wanting anything to do with this woman. I certainly don't. I know you guys don't either, right? As a Starfleet officer, Michael tends to be passionate and detail-oriented when she speaks, but when it comes to Spock about their past, she was purposely taciturn. I can't even see this word. When she spoke to Sarek, the Vulcan ambassador noted that he could hear the notes missing in what Michael was trying to tell him, meaning that Michael was withholding a lot of vital information, possibly because it's embarrassing or even shameful, especially for their father to hear. Whatever happened between Spock and Michael is something apparently only the two of them are aware of, and is something Michael has kept hidden, even from the mind meld she shared with Sarek in the past. Oh, and here's the other thing that I really hated. Michael was meant to teach Spock empathy as a child. Well, first of all, you have to have emotions. You have to have genuine, real, human, genuine people personalities. She doesn't have one. She really, really doesn't. I've seen elevators with more personality than her, all right? Sarek told Michael that the main thing he hoped Spock would learn from having Michael as his foster sister was empathy. The Vulcan ambassador knew that understanding his own emotions as a half-human would be vital for Spock in dealing with other humans. Maybe he should have learned that from his mother. His mother was also human and actually compassionate and actually had a personality. Do you ever think of that? No, they don't. They never think of that. They always want to do the most stupid things possible to shoehorn in this Michael fucking Burnham character that nobody wants. However, because Spock cut himself off from both Michael and Sarek when he joined Starfleet, Sarek expressed his disappointment that his son failed to embrace the lesson of empathy. Michael responded that she knows for a fact empathy is very real to Spock. But how much does she really know about Spock's capacity for empathy when she has none herself? Though Sarek respectfully didn't press Michael for details, and Michael wasn't keen to discuss them with her foster father, there are implications in what Michael is leaving unsaid. Michael's flashbacks and voiceovers in Star Trek Discovery Season 2 premiere kept going back to Spock. Michael was 4 years older than Spock when she came to live with Sarek and Amanda, but they were both still children. At first, Spock rejected his new human foster sister and literally shut the door in her face in the most unintentionally hilarious moment of that episode, too. Watch my live reaction. It was kind of hilarious when that happened. Man, that was great. That was so great. Like, good. This is what we want. This is what we want. Shut the door on the bitch. We don't want her anymore. However, their relationship evidently warmed up from there, at least, in Michael's words, for a time. Ew, no, bad. We see that not long after Michael's arrival, Spock was smiling as he watched Amanda read Alice's Adventures in Wonderland to her, so Spock had already begun to accept his foster sister at this young age. But what happened between them as they both grew into adulthood? Could the answers be found in Spock's Vulcan biology and his undergoing Ponfar? Though that's what I've been saying for months and months. Oh, and evidence Spock had feelings for Michael and vice versa. Yuck. Ew. No. Bad. No shipping. Did Spock's feelings develop for Michael? Did Spock develop feelings for Michael that go beyond mere empathy? Based on what we learned from Michael's behavior during Star Trek Discovery's brother and what we know about Spock and Michael growing up on Vulcan together, we can make some guesses. Spock had always guarded his personal life, but we do know he was betrothed to Pring as a child. I'm saying the name wrong. God, I can't. As a child, and a marriage he did not want, which ultimately was annulled years later. In the original series episode, A Mock Time, Star Trek never elaborated on why Spock didn't want to marry to Pring. It was inferred, but it was because he wanted to dedicate his life to Starfleet. But will we learn in Discovery, it was actually because during those years of Vulcans, his romantic feelings were more reserved for Michael. Ew, no, yuck. And they were also trying to shoehorn him boning Uhura in the JJ movies. Why? Why do we have to? Why are we so quick to get Spock's dick wet? Really? I mean, can he be just sort of this figure that we don't see sexually, that we don't see, kind of like the Doctor, you know? It just feels like on Doctor Who. It feels so inappropriate to see these characters as sexual sometimes, like some of them anyway. Spock is kind of one of those. It's just, ew, I don't want to know. From Michael's point of view, it's actually logical she could have been romantically involved with Spock. As a teenager living on Vulcan, she would have found extremely limited options for a boyfriend since she's human. But mere romantic flings are kind of illogical. She would have been taught that. The Vulcan's general disdain for humans would have left her isolated and lonely. Meanwhile, we know Spock also endured the same type of prejudice. Since he's a half-human, half-Vulcan, and he struggled to reconcile this. Well, Sarek just takes in all these human pets all over the place in an experiment to see if Vulcans and humans can live together or can get along with each other, you know? And that was part of why he brought Michael Burnham home. So he could see if Spock and Michael, or if humans and Vulcans could live together despite having married one and having a child with one. Fucking stupid writing. Naturally, they would have found kindred spirits in each other, and things might have blossomed from there, especially during the tumultuous teenage years. Ew, no. Spock should have also undergone Ponfar, the mating ritual for the first time when he hit puberty, like he did on the Genesis planet in Star Trek 3. The question was Michael present for this? When Michael told Sarek that Spock accepted her for a time, the implication is that he accepted her as more than just his sister. Michael's reluctance to provide any further details to Sarek fuels this line of speculation. Whatever did happen between Michael and Spock, Michael takes the blame for his relationship going sour, indicating that she was the one who rejected Spock or ended what was going on. It's even possible that Michael broke Spock's heart. Ew. No. What this means for Star Trek Discovery Season 2? Well, this means I'm going to be yelling a lot and making a lot of videos. That's what it means. It means I better get some really good soundproofing up pretty soon, because the next episode's in 2 days. A possible past relationship between Spock and Michael in Star Trek Discovery would echo the relationship in the J.J. Abrams-produced films between Zachary Quinto's Spock and Uhura. After all, it's now canon that Spock is attracted to beautiful, intelligent African-American women. Or he's just attracted to whatever's handy. You got to think of it this way. How many other women do you see on the Enterprise bridge that, weren't basically completely dripping wet for Kirk? Not a whole lot of them. Seriously. I clicked a button I should not have clicked. Meanwhile, even though she didn't realize Ash Tyler was really a surgically altered Klingon Vok, Michael's season 1 love affair still counts as her having the capacity to fall for an alien. Yuck. No, and they're so shoehorned in. They had no chemistry. Like, they barely said 2 lines and they were automatically in love. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. By virtue of being a prequel series, Star Trek Discovery looks to be capitalizing on the prime opportunity to ask a lot of questions about Spock's past. No, realistically, they're capitalizing on the fact that people know who Spock is, and they're counting on that to bring in viewership and subscribers to CBS All Access. That is it. They're trying to be as controversial as possible. They're trying to do as much as possible to get people talking about it. This is why the show is so bad. And anybody who likes the show and says, oh no, it's really good, you don't get it. You don't get why they're making it this way. They're making it this way to piss off half the fan base, because look at how popular The Last Jedi is, and it's still being talked about. Okay, it doesn't take a genius IQ to understand what they're doing. They want to get this talked about. They want to drum up business. They want to bring out as many references as they can, and they want to do as many things as they can to make people rant about it and rave about it. And I'm one of them. I admit it. I'm one of them. But I want good Star Trek. I want this to stop, and I want to call them on their bullshit. And this is why I make videos, because I'm so passionate to get Star Trek fixed. When fans meet him in the original series, he's the cool, efficient, fully formed Vulcan we know and the best friend to Captain Kirk. Star Trek Discovery, meanwhile, gets to explore the younger, rawer Spock that none of us wanted to know, and I've only gotten a glimpse of in the original series pilot, The Cage, which I give a pass for being completely out of canon, because it was like the first thing, and they hadn't developed the characters yet. You can't go back and try and match something to the unaired pilot. And I say unaired pilot because nobody saw it until like the 80s. Okay, it wasn't aired, and yes, they clipped pieces of it from the menagerie. Whoop-de shit. The point is, you do not retcon. Look at The Simpsons. Look how different the voices from the first Simpsons episode are to the later seasons. It wasn't finished yet. It wasn't developed. It wasn't fully formed. You don't want to go back to that. This is the problem. What Star Trek Discovery reveals about Spock and his past with Michael will then add an extra nuance to many of the choices and actions we know he'll make in the future. As Star Trek Discovery Season 2 progresses and Discovery continues to inch towards Star Trek the original series, Michael is bound to follow the clues in the star map Spock left behind on the Enterprise, just like Rey did in The Force Awakens to find Luke Skywalker. We've seen this before. Here's the clue. Here's our map. Can we not rip off bad Star Wars, please? Please, can we just not? Which should lead her not just to Spock, but likely to the Red Angel as well. However, just as fascinating will be Spock's reunion with Michael and the revelation of just what happened between them during their teenage years. The truth could also be, well, something entirely different, but if not, it would be perfectly logical if Spock and Michael shared a romance in the past. The friction between them in the present will no doubt color how they embark on saving the galaxy together in Star Trek fucking Discovery. So, Why is this article coming out? Well, because the numbers for Star Trek Discovery Season 2 didn't do very well, and they needed to drum up hype. They need to drum up people talking about it. Not only that, they don't realize that so many of us already had this fan theory. People like me, people, I want to say Michael Ahrens probably was the first person I heard this from months and months and months and months ago. I believe that was who I heard it first from. Now, Screen Rant does this thing where they do leak out information occasionally. They did it right before we heard about the Disney collab, or how much money Disney lost. They basically said, they kind of released a soften the blow sort of article saying, maybe it's not a bad thing that Disney's losing all this money. And then about a week later, or maybe 2 weeks later, we got that whole news that Disney lost a shit ton of money with Star Wars merchandise. I believe that they were probably leaking out this information. If this is in fact their storyline, they probably are leaking this out so that people will react to it, so that people will drum up business for them on Discovery, so that people will go and subscribe to CBS All Access. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Just watch the reviews. Do not subscribe to CBS All Access. I do not endorse it. It is not a good service. It is not going to be worth your money. Especially when you can just watch people on YouTube rant about it. What do you guys think in the comments section? Tell me what you think of this. Are you equally disgusted? I am livid that they want to do this, and I can't tell you how much. There are not words to describe how mad I am, other than I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. They're going to do this, and even if this doesn't come to be, the fact that other people are picking up on this, the fact that they're hinting so much, that the people like Screen Rant are actually going out of their way to make articles of this, it just turns my stomach. So tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Sorry about the completely messy room. It is no shelving is up except for a few cubes, and I have not hardly unpacked anything. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am Mecha Random 42, and I will see you guys on the next video or live stream. Bye! Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button, and if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!